Hey everyone, welcome to the Pitmaster Q&A series brought to you by Green Mountain Grills Australia and Hark Enterprises. I'm your host, Rayan Fernando from the Barbecue and Brew Show. Today we've got the recently crowned World Barbecue Champion and the American Royal Open Reserve Grand Champion for 2022. Sterling Smith from Loot N Booty BBQ is joining us on the show today. Can't wait to get him on and have chat. We'll find out how the World Food Championships in Dallas just went, just last weekend, actually, over the weekend, winning that, and how the American Royal went, how he got started with barbecuing, Loot N Booty and the barbecue team, and everything else in between, really. So a whole bunch of things to go through with Smitty. Can't wait to get him on. And he's also going to give us some of the best tips you can probably find in how to cook barbecue ribs in the GNG too. So I can't wait to pick his brain and learn a little bit more about cooking barbecue ribs. And the best part is the Pitmaster Q&A series is interactive. So if you have a question for Smitty and you want to get a bit of an insight, or you want to drop in a comment, just pop that comment in the comment section, and he and I will both try and get to as many as we can during the show, and we can always follow up after the show as well and give you a heads up. But that's enough from me. We've got him for a limited time, so I'm going to get Smitty on, and we'll have a quick chat and get going. Hey, Smitty, welcome to the Pitmaster Q&A series. How you doing?
Awesome, man. How are you?
Good, mate. Good. Your background is far better than my background. I'm very envious of the pool, the GMG, and the amazing Smith sign in the background there too, mate. That's unreal.
I live in Arizona, and this is our time. You know, when it ggets winter time, that's when it's not 115 degrees here. It's beautiful. This is the time to sit on the patio, you know, have a drink, cheers.
Yeah.
And you smoke something, right?
That's it, mate. That's it. It's the way to do it. And we're meant to be in Melbourne here. We're meant to be heading into summer. We're 2 weeks away from officially summer starting, but everyone's wearing jackets because the weather's been crazy down this way.
Oh
so
yeah.
It's hectic.
We've had a cold spell, but you know, it's beautiful right now. Sun's out. It's a beautiful day. So, let's talk barbecue, man.
Absolutely, man. Look, congratulations, World Barbecue Champion. Congrats, man. How'd that weekend go?
So, the World Barbecue, the World Food Championships it's a massive event, and it's not just barbecue. They have other categories like burger, bacon, recipe, everything from dessert, and then barbecue is obviously a section there. And there's two different categories. There's the eat category, which is the one I entered, which is an event where we take 3 entries: brisket, ribs, and brisket, ribs, and chicken were our 3 categories that we turned in. And we didn't just do barbecue. We plated it nice. We took those proteins and we could do whatever we want to with them. So if you wanted to turn them into a pizza, you could, a soup, a sandwich, whatever you want to do. Just make sure you feature that protein. And then there's a CBA portion to it, which is a Champions Barbecue Alliance sanctioning body, which is pretty similar to the events we do in typical ABA or KCBS, where you put it in a clamshell box. So the top 5 from each go on to the finals, and the finals was brisket. So the really cool thing is I actually didn't get in the top 5 into the eat category. I was 9th place overall, but this year they had what's called a master judges pick. So they took all the entries and how they looked, and the judges picked somebody based off of, creativity, based off the way they plated it, based off of, thinking outside the box. So they picked me to go to the finals to be that 11th place, qualifier, which was awesome. So we get to the finals, and, top 5 and then 6 from us, counting me. And they give us 2 briskets, and they say, do whatever you want to. Fair game. Go ahead. Turn in what you wanted to. So we had 12 hours to cook the brisket. And then we had 2 hours to kind of plate our entire meal and put together for judging. So we did a low and slow brisket. We cooked them on the GMGs. What's really cool about the GMGs is if I want to go low and slow, I can just dial it in, let the grill do the work. I sleep. I have a good night. I wake up in the morning. The grill did the work. I wrap it in foil and then cook it, put it back on the GMG. With the touch of a button, I can crank it from low and slow to 275, 300 degrees. Fahrenheit here.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah, exactly. That messed me up one time down there. I was like, but yeah, you can crank it up that easy with the push of a button, and then just cook it until it probes like butter. Rest it, and then we took it after it's been resting, and we had to turn in a dish that was and something that inspired us.
Yeah.
Not just turn in a dish. You're like, okay, turn in this and tell me why you turn in that dish. So, it's really serendipitous that this weekend was Veterans Day weekend, and I'm a Navy veteran.
Yeah.
And so I really thought about my time being stationed, and I was stationed in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. When I traveled to the Pacific Ocean, I've hit Sydney and Perth, and the Middle East, Hong Kong, Singapore, Guam, a bunch of Asian countries, and so I wanted to put a dish together that reminded me of my time in my service. So, what better to do than like a sampler platter? So I love going out to getting little bites and street food and all the little sampler things. So it's a traditional poo platter, right?
Yeah.
So I cooked with one of my great friends, Mike Johnson from Sugar Fire Smokehouse. Is a phenomenal chef, and my friends John Reese from Smokin' X. So we all got together, created this menu, and we created what's called the QQ platter. We'll play on the poo platter.
That's so good.
So it featured a brisket, so we had to do some barbecue, right? And so we took that brisket and we made 4 little dishes on one main dish. So we made
it looked amazing.
Man, it was so good. And we went obviously that Asian style with it on a poo platter. We made a crimp, brisket and crab fried rice with a little drizzle of sesame oil and a quail egg on there. And then we did so it had to feature brisket and burnt ends. So I made some burnt ends, and I did some teriyaki burnt ends with pineapple and some toasted sesame seed, and we did some burnt end skewers for them, a little teriyaki one. We also did a shiitake mushroom brisket, garlic, ginger, pork gyoza. We steamed it off, crusted the bottom, steamed it off. And then we did a wasabi aioli and a China Lina sauce, which is a play on a Chinese hot mustard and an Arizona Gold Carolina sauce. So it's called a China Lina sauce. Put it right over there. I love it. And then we did a stuffed egg roll, some cabbage and carrots, deep fried the egg roll. And then we did a smoked mango, sweet and sour kind of chili sauce drizzled right over it. And that sauce just cut that fatty brisket so well. And then you get that crunch from the egg roll. And it was one of the best bites on the plate. So, we put all 4 of them on it. We crossed our fingers, and the judges actually gave us a perfect score on it. So we all 5 so judges, and the judges were legends in the game. We had Chris Lilly from Big Bob Gibson's, Tuffy Stone, Leanne Whitman,
Harry Sue,
Famous Dave, Harry Sue. All these all of them gave us a perfect score. So getting that perfect score from those absolute legends was it's I don't know. It's hard to put in words, kind of, it means a lot.
Unreal.
It means,
absolutely.
I was speechless when I got there. I'm like, what do you say? You think, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, it's something I worked hard for, and you actually achieve it. It's validation,
That's it, man. And look, I think what I loved about that dish and seeing the photos and things like that is that, you've got, what I'm loving about barbecue in the way it's moving is that the fusion of barbecue, like taking traditional barbecue meats, but then you've just gone and thrown in a whole different platter to it, which kind of the flavor profiles like mango and things like that. It's just amazing, man. Just blew me away seeing the photos.
Thank you, man. But at the end of the day, we wanted to keep the integrity of that barbecue, of that brisket. And you can taste that smokiness, that fattiness, that richness come through. All those dishes, that was the focus. But we can take it and spin it, like you said, into an Asian dish. We can do it into a Mexican dish, some Indian with some curry. We can do all kinds of things. And that's what I really love about the World Food Championships is it gives us an opportunity and a chance to, we say get outside the box. And it's almost literally get outside the box, the clamshell box. But I love the clamshell box. I do KCBS. I love ABA. I love all those. That allows me to express my artistry. But I think World Food Championship takes it to another level where we can chef it up a little bit, and we can be creative and put everything in our minds that we're thinking of and just throw it on a plate and cross our fingers and see if it works. Doesn't work all the time, but when it comes together, it's a great feeling.
No, that's it, man. And we had our first World Food Championships in Australia this year. A few of the Aussie contestants went up there. So we had
Lucas was over there.
Yeah, Lucas was up there, and doing the barbecue with John McFadden, who won the seafood as well.
Yeah, how awesome! So I'll see him at the finals.
Yeah, I know, right? He's so pumped, and he's a one-man show too. I don't know.
How's
He's
that?
got some great mad skills. So yeah, looking forward to how they go. But yeah, I've sort of we were part of the World Food Championships in Australia and sort of doing some promotion stuff and just seeing it in
Yeah.
action, and then going,
It's
man, this is so it's just going to
isn't it
grow
crazy
next
to
year
see?
so much.
It's
Yeah,
just
it's unreal.
crazy to see the whole like the layout, the cooking everywhere, and the timers and people rushing around and getting their dishes in and plating. It's exciting, man. I love watching that stuff.
Yeah, and I reckon, I mean, in the US, it's like a whole new level as well. Like it was our first year running it this year, so I reckon next year in Australia is going to be mad. Once they see, especially after getting a few wins in there, it's going to be good to see.
And yeah, it's usually better than the next years. You get better at it. You get more
absolutely.
And, so that'd be awesome for it to expand. And man, I'd love to come over and compete in the.
Do it. I mean, we had Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson was down for the Sydney one, which was great. So I caught it with him.
Yeah.
So
he's my buddy.
He was down, so I'm just checking it out. So yeah, it was great. Now, rewind 5 weeks, mate. You a reserve grand champion at the American Royal Open. Just for why not? Congratulations as well.
It's funny that's overshadowed by.
I know. Right? I was like, you're gonna have to update your bio, man. I'm sorry.
I'll take it. All right.
Yeah. It's a good reason to update your bio, but yeah, congrats on that too. I mean, that's the Royal. I mean, the Open is like and the American Royal. It's a beast. Huge,
it's the biggest. It's the biggest of the biggest. It's 500 plus teams. 2014
and
was
Kansas
my first
Speedway.
year.
Like that sounds
the infield
like
of
an epic
Kansas
place to cook.
Speedway. There's RVs everywhere. There's smokers everywhere. There's bands everywhere. There's parties everywhere. It's just a phenomenal sight to see. And 2014 was actually my first year, and I took reserve grand champion in the Open that year. And that was out of 535 teams. And this past year, doing it again with 500 plus teams again, 505 teams. It was remarkable. We all thought Slaps had it because he had 2 180s. But I tell people at the end of the day, it's not about your placement. It's about your scores. This is it's all about your scores. So don't really worry about where you place. Worry about the scores. And if you're consistent, you have a consistent cook. We all got a chance. And I knew I had a good cook that day. I didn't know if it was RGC good, but I know it was good. But hey, the judges told me it was RGC good, and I'll take it. I'll take it anytime.
Yeah. And first place potato. What did you cook up?
Oh man, potatoes, man. What do you think?
Next question.
Well, I'll tell you. Okay, so I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. Which actually, there's some pictures out there. So Mike, my buddy Mike Johnson, and I collaborated on it. He, Sugar Fire Barbecue is known for sweet and barbecue. Sweet and the barbecue side, the fire, and then the bakery side. So they did a sweet potato cheesecake with a bourbon caramel pecan sauce and a little kind of like creme fraiche over the top, which was just phenomenal. And then I did a potato pav. So I did the layered potatoes, and then we did a little square out of it. I cut them out, and then we put some cornstarch and deep fried them. We did like a Parmesan cream sauce over the top of it. Then I topped it with a little sweet and spicy jalapeno and a little bit of queso fresco white cheese, a little bit of green onion. So they had the sweet, salty, savory, cheesy, creamy potato pav bite, and then they had a cheesecake. So it was a good balance of both. So that was a perfect score too. That was a perfect 180 in potato. There's potato world champion too, man. How crazy is that? I'll take it.
Potato and barbecue. I love it.
Yeah,
and look, it's
together, right?
And look, and what I'm loving is just obviously we've got the different barbecue sanctioning bodies here. We've got a few comps happening, and you being here as well for a couple. It's really cool seeing how Australia is growing and getting more and more, especially the SCA side of things, because some of the dishes the guys pop out is unreal in Australia. So I feel like we're growing really well, and it's sort of the scene is getting up there, which is awesome.
Yeah, food sports come a long way, and with the amount of information and knowledge that's out there, you can go online and do barbecue class. A lot of us travel. I've taught over in Australia. A lot of those guys come over here for classes and do events. Dan Barrett's over here frequently doing events here. Yeah. So, the more you know, or the more you do, and having the accessibility, there's so many stores there who now import all the American products, all the grills.
That's it. Yeah.
So having accessibility to the products that are winning stuff, having the knowledge of a class, going online, doing all that, it's worldwide now. Everybody has that information. So it's just about taking it and executing doing it right.
And I find especially the barbecue, the competition barbecue family, that just seems there's so much sharing, there's so much knowledge sharing, so much giving.
Yeah.
And, and they, obviously they want to see the community grow and the competitions grow. That, yeah, if someone new comes in, it's just like, all right, how do we get this person up and running and wanting to be here for the next, the next few years? It's really cool to see. And even from the US, just so much information sharing. It's unreal.
Yeah, I think that's what's unique about competition barbecue is, most of us, we all have the same interests, right? We're cooking meat in a parking lot, having a couple
Yeah,
beers,
that's it.
chilling with our friends, So, I mean, if you come by and you're cool and you want some information, great. Don't come in just expecting to get information. There's ways to do it and there's ways not to. But yeah, we share. To me, it's about, like I've used this word already, execution. You got to just do it. You can have all the information in the world. You got to get in your backyard. You got to light a fire. You got to light a pit. You got to trim some meat, and you got to burn some stuff, and you got to make it wrong. The more you make wrong, the more you're gonna make right. If that makes sense. You got to do it. I've ruined a lot of stuff, trying to get it right. So
and that's probably
repetition.
And probably a great way to go. Take it back to 2006, 2007, when you started, right? Like, I mean, obviously,
2009 is when I started competing.
Oh, the competition, but learning barbecue as well.
Oh yeah, 2007, I went to the American Royal in Kansas City, and I saw what it was. I saw the smokers, and I saw the grills, and I saw just everybody having fun. So that's when what lit kind of my fire in 2007. Just seeing it, and then coming back to Arizona and then going and buying a cheap grill and grabbing a pork butt on the way home and lighting the thing up. And I had a fire in the same backyard. I had a little $50 grill, and I had so much smoke coming out of that thing. I thought the fire department was going to come and shut me down, but I thought that's what barbecue was. I thought it was smoke, a lot of smoke. You needed, it wasn't smoky. If it wasn't smoking, it wasn't barbecuing, right? So every time it stopped smoking, I would go in there and throw a log, throw some gas on it. It was terrible. It was the worst piece of meat in the world. And I had my wife's family over, and it was just, I had to finish it in the oven, and it just reeked of like creosote. But you had to learn. So you had to learn before you get it right, man. And it's come a long way since then.
Oh, it has, man. It has, isn't it? And it's so cool to see the journey. And I've obviously researching your journey. It's been you've put in some hard yards over the years, mate. And obviously, like you said, 2009 you started doing the competition barbecue, and you probably got the hook real early because you got 2 call-ups in the first barbecue comp you went into, right? So
exactly.
Tell us about like what a way to get hooked.
Yeah, I think they did that on purpose. I was listening to somebody. I forget who it was, and they said, "You know what? I think these KCBS promoters know first team, and they just give them a call because they know they're going to get back." It totally happened to us. So we went in, and it's maybe our second, maybe third time cooking brisket, and because we tried to practice before, but brisket was one of those things that was always like expensive and big, and we were like kind of to buy it. So they only cooked it maybe a couple times practice. So we turned out brisket that was like a boot. It was like rubber bands is the worst thing. But we had pretty decent ribs and chicken. And we got a call on chicken and ribs. And we were like, oh, we're the best. We're going to quit our jobs. We're going to the barbecue for life and sell everything, buy more grills. And then the second comp we went to after that was the KCBS comp here in Tempe, Arizona. And the little do we know, the KCBS team of the year, they're going for like points. And so all these huge major teams are there. They're chasing KCBS points. We didn't know anything about that. It's our second comp. And we just get absolutely demolished. We get destroyed. And so we were humbled very quickly in our second competition. But the first ones, they snagged us. And,
they got you. They got you.
Yeah, but it was really cool that we stuck with it, even though we got our asses handed to us. And at the beginning, though, it wasn't like it is now. In the beginning, we were I had a friend cooking with me, and we were more of a drinking team who liked to barbecue. As opposed to now, I got a little higher priority. But but we were doing it for camaraderie. We were doing it for fun. We were doing it for that reason. We weren't chasing points. We weren't going for trophies. It's changed a lot, but that's what we started with, and I think I kind of relaxed this year And I went from having that kind of pressure that, you know, if I don't do well, then it's kind of eats at me. I took that pressure off a couple years ago when I started cooking with my friends as YSB barbecue, and I had Justin and Kyle there, and we popped off a couple GCs, but it was fun because I got back cooking with my friends, my mates, my family, and we would cheers, and we would, you know, we'd bag on each other, but we'd have a blast, you know, and we'd do well, and we all had our goals and our priorities. So I think kind of going back to that, to me, kind of revitalized my competition barbecue. Kind of, oh, let's have fun. Let's do it for fun, and it's not that serious, you know. If you don't win, it's not that serious. You don't have to like sell all your grills, and but you've all be like, forget this, I'm selling everything. But no, it's I just kind of relaxed a little bit about it, and I think once I'm more relaxed, it makes you more confident. It makes you more kind of just easy and flow, and it just happens, you know. You're not thinking, and you're not there's no pressure. It's just
that's it,
you know.
No, I love that. I love that. You know, sort of you kind of finding that chi back again. You're like, okay, this is I'm going back to where I'm loving it, and that's
I lost it, but it's back, baby. It's back full force.
That's awesome, man. That's unreal. That's all right. Now, look, obviously, Loot N Booty BBQ teams had a whole bunch of success over the years. I can list them out, but obviously, you know, American Royal, Jack Daniels. You come down to Australia and handed a couple of amazing lamb championships.
A couple times.
But what do you attest to that? What do you you know, what do you sort of put down to, or your philosophy for winning and getting you know, getting those titles over the years?
A lot has to do with mindset. You know, you have to go into a competition knowing you're going to win, knowing that you're going to execute, knowing you're going to run your game plan. You know, you have to know that. You have to go in like it's a mission. It's a battle. You know, you have a goal, and you're going to accomplish that by any means necessary. So you're coming in there by having a game plan, a structure, an organization. Everything's attention to detail to the max. And it's just running your game plan and knowing how to overcome adversity is a lot of it too, because not every cook's going to be perfect. No, it's not a sunny day, 80 degrees and shorts and flip-flops. Every cook, you know, and your grill runs right and the meat's perfect every time. You got to know what to do to when it's not right. You know, that's what makes the pitmaster. That's what makes somebody better, is overcoming that during the cook and fixing things before it gets to that next level of being, you know, too far gone. So it's always, you know, hitting these marks and always knowing these marks that need to be hit at this certain time. If you don't have a game plan, if you don't have a timeline, if you don't have structure, if you don't have an end goal of what you want this meat to taste like, or tenderness of this meat, then you don't even know what you're chasing. You don't even know what you're going after. You have to know what your end goal is on that piece of meat, how it's going to look, how it's going to bite. And that's attention detail to the max. And if you look at these teams that are crushing it over and over, their attention detail to the max, their organization, mise en place, everything's there. You know, they're going to be that way. And it's not just some ramshackled helter skelter thing. There are a couple cooks that I know that are like that, but they're like idiot savants, like like Rain Man. They're like Rain Man. They're like, how do you even do that? I don't even know.
It pulls it out.
There's like two that I know that are strong cooks like that. But to me, it's about having my game plan and being organized and coming in prepared. You got to be prepared. You can't be winging it. You got to have shit trim. You got to have the best meat you can buy. You know, if the best meat you can afford, that's what you need to come in with, because people are cooking on, you know, $300 Wagyu briskets that had a name. You know, this pork that's ultra marbled, but it's a competition. It's a competition. You got to set yourself
up. It's huge over there too, right? Like you
have to set yourself up for success. Right. And so you got to buy the best meats. You got to buy the best products, and you got to know what to do with it. You know, a great piece of meat's not going to make a terrible pitmaster good. It's not how it works. You know. But I can tell you what, a great pitmaster could take a terrible piece of meat and make it good.
Yeah,
you know, it works.
No, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. And you sort of mentioned bite then and the strategy. You know, I think it's so key, and I hear that all the time. Even Tuffy Stone sort of mentions how he, you know, when he cooks, he calculates back on what the bite's going to be in the judge's hand.
Yeah,
and then he calculates back from there. Like that's you
Yeah.
know, when you got
You gotta
people doing
know.
it, yeah, that's
You
unreal.
know, it's not going to taste like when you take it off the grill and you just put it in your mouth. The judges aren't going to
Yeah,
get that bite. They're not going to get that
no,
bite. They're going to get a
no,
different bite. So you got to put
that's
a
it.
piece on your table, let it sit for a while, figure it out. When the judges are going to get it, your
Yeah,
food needs to taste good at room temperature at best. Um,
yep,
but that's ultra calculation. That's
mm,
ultra attention to detail.
yep,
That's cutting ribs a certain way because most people are right-handed, and most people are going to reach into a box with their right hand. So maybe you want the bone to have more meat on the left side of the bone, so the right. Does that make sense? Right?
yeah,
That's ultra detailed thinking. But
yeah, that's unreal. Yeah, yeah,
Tuffy Stone's a Marine vet,
yeah,
so he's organized to the max, and he goes into it much like me with a mission.
yeah.
He's
It's
going to get it
unreal.
right. But yeah,
And I mean,
that's the things that you learn though by doing it over and over.
yeah,
And little
yeah,
things that also you pick up from friends
yeah.
who do have done it over and over. There's a little bit of balance of both, a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of shaking off the best. Right?
That's awesome, man. And look, it's yeah. I mean, obviously, you came down to Australia and you had you entered a few competitions here, and you beat us in lamb a couple of times. We can't not talk about that. Tell us, man, how did you do that?
um, I I honestly think the first one I got lucky. The second one it was just damn good lamb.
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
No, I think maybe I gave them something that they weren't traditionally used to. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
mhm,
And it was good. So I think maybe I had a different take, a different rub, a different seasoning, a different way of presenting that
yeah,
wasn't traditional. So, before I went to the invitation, I knew I had to cook lamb. I knew it was one of my entries. So
yeah,
for 6 months leading up to that competition, I cooked lamb over and over and over until my family said,
yeah,
"Stop feeding us lamb. We're done eating lamb." I said, I get it." But I did it every single way. I did it every backwards, forwards, every different cut, trying to figure it
yeah.
out.
Right.
I
Yeah,
pulled Australian teams when I got there. Hey guys, use mint.
yeah,
Use mint, because lamb and mint are a thing, right?
yeah, yeah,
I don't like mint on my food. I just don't. I like it in
yeah, yeah.
gum,
I'm the same. Yeah,
but
yeah,
I just don't. It's just not my thing. So half the team said, "Yeah, we have some," and half the team said no. So I was like, "Oh, that poll didn't work." I wanted like, yes, we all do, or yes, we all don't. So I
yeah,
knew. So I said, you know what? I'm just gonna roll it. I'm not gonna put it in mint. I'm gonna roll my kind of American barbecue style on that lamb.
yeah. You're
And I
right.
went with my what's your beef rub. I made it beefy. Lamb is beefy. It's bovine.
Yep.
So
Yeah, yeah,
I beefed it up. I made it brisket like. Did some awesome pulled shoulder. Almost like a pulled brisket, very beefy. Some onion, some garlic in
yeah,
there, and a little. I did a rack, perfectly cooked rack of lamb with a little bit of garlic butter over there.
yeah,
And then I did some ribs, and I did, just like a good barbecue little one bite lamb rib right off the bone. And I
yeah.
just, sweet and spicy barbecue sauce. So I gave them a little bit of kind of both, or different flavors on it. I gave it to them the next year too, and they liked it twice. Third row was seventh place, but I think by that time the Aussies were on to me, and they're like, "Okay, I know what this cat's doing." No
Oh
more,
man,
no more for that
no
guy.
more, no more. Now, look, it's you come over here, and I like the US. You've got you know what your meat you're buying. You know what sort of product you're using and things like.
Oh yeah,
How did you find coming over here and going like, okay, I need some pork, I need some beef, I need
yeah,
some
yeah.
lamb. How did that translate for you?
I think that's what's really cool, and I think that's what makes people better cooks is it
Yeah,
being not everybody thing handed to them. Oh, here's the best meat on the planet. Hey, here's the air conditioned trailer to cook out of. Hey, here's a perfectly good grill. You just hit the button and do it. I mean, if you don't have adversity, you're not going to be a great pitmaster.
yeah,
You'll be good,
yeah,
but you're not going to be great. I love that. I love like running around trying to find a meat, a
yeah,
butcher that has this lamb, and finding this brisket from this guy. I have been very fortunate to work with some awesome butchers there while I'm
yeah,
there. Um, um, uh, and George's Fine Meats in Cherrybrook has been a
yeah,
great
yeah.
guy. Those guys have been great to work with. Glenn down at Char Char Char
Oh, getting
has been
Glenn Dumbrell, yeah,
oh
yeah,
yeah, he's been a great mate to work with. So working with those guys has been very fortunate. But I think being able to go and like I said, just pick out your stuff, not knowing, work out of a pop up tent, find some foil that is the cheapest foil in the world. I don't know what's up with your foil down there. Does it even work? It's like lace.
Yeah.
I put foil on something that disintegrated. I'm like, I don't know if this foil's right. But just little things like that, that you have to overcome and make right and adapt. A part of military, and it's very barbecue like, is adapt and overcome. Everything's not going to be perfect. Roll with it. Make it better. Like, just figure out a way to overcome that and to push on and to accomplish that goal. So I love that process of it, and I think it's really cool. Like, I can just, hey, throw me out there. I'll track down a pop-up tent, a table, and a grill, and a rack of lamb. Let's ride. Let's go.
Yeah, no, that's it. And I mean, it is interesting to see how many people like travel around Australia too, and just like they travel very light, but when they get there, everyone's just like handed a bunch of things and they're set up ready to go. So it just seems like it's such a common thing.
But what's also really cool is, me traveling over there, and then several guys from Australia traveling over here. We've created relationships. So they come over here. What do you guys need? You need some tables? You need a drum to compete? We're here. We're gonna get you what you need. And it's the same way when I go over there. My guys are like, what do you need? I'll get you a drum. I'll get you this. I got you tables. So it's a barbecue family. It's not just local. It's worldwide. We all look out for each other. We all help each other. And we all just want to see each other do well.
No, that's it, man. And look, and that's what I fell in love with, just sort of hitting a few meat stocks here in Australia this year and seeing some of the competition and really getting, because obviously we had a couple of years of craziness in Australia where nothing happened. So it was just seeing the camaraderie.
Good to see it get back, man. It's just good to see
it's unreal, man.
It's so good. And the meat stocks getting back together, everybody fucking having a good time and enjoying each other and living life, man. That's what at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Just we all enjoy each other, enjoy life, and if barbecue is a part of that, man, let's light some fires, baby.
That's it. Now, obviously, great success in barbecue competition. Starting Loot N Booty BBQ team. How did the rubs come about? Obviously you're creating some of your own spices and things like that. What kicked those off?
Yeah, man. So in 2014, the first American Royal I went to in Kansas City, Old World Spices, which is my current co-packer right now, they had a promotion. And it was like they said, any teams that wanted to maybe work on co-packing a rub with them, you can sign a waiver. And if you've placed, in certain categories and they wanted to work with you, then they could have a possibility of reaching out and being involved in this American Royal Championship rub line. I said, you know what? That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
I signed up for it. And that year I crushed it, in the Invitational, I took first in chicken with a perfect 180, seventh place in ribs. And then in the Open, I took second in pork, 19th in brisket, reserve grand champion. 2 Tuffy Stone by 1 point that year. So after that event, Old World Spices reaches out to me and says, hey, we'd love to have you involved as our pork rub in this American Royal Championship line. We're going to sell at Walmart. There's a chicken rib, pork, and brisket. We want your pork rub. I said, sign me up. Let's go. I flew to Kansas City. We started working and developing a pork rub that I was using and something that I was developing at the time. So I got involved in the pork rub on that line, and the lucky thing for me, and I think I've been lucky to be in certain places at certain times. I've been I've been lucky. And so originally what they wanted to do with that line was every year, the next American Royal winners, they would have their rubs come out and there. So after it started selling, Walmart said, no, we already have fans for these rubs. We're already selling them.
Yeah,
we don't want to turn it over every year. And so they added a couple to that, but to this day, that rub is still selling on grocery store shelves.
Yeah, that's unreal.
So when that started, I went to Old World Spices and said, yes, I love the pork rub by Loot N Booty BBQ, the American Royal Championship line. I want my own branded line, Loot N Booty BBQ rubs. So I took that pork rub and I made it my everything rub. So my everything rub is basically that pork rub in that line. That's my exactly. That's my very first one that came out.
Yeah.
And then from there, it just started kind of domino infecting into. There was years I was crushing chicken, just crushing. I got like 9 perfect 180s. I said I need a chicken rub. So Gold Star chicken rub was invented.
Yeah.
Butcher beef came after that, Jolly
Yeah.
Roger, El Jefe Grande, and then I got the 3 sauces going. So it kind of just was
Love these bad boys. I'm just
yeah,
surrounded by your
yeah.
rubs, by the way.
I love it, man. But
Yeah,
it,
it's
it
unreal.
became like almost like a snowball. You know, you get a little bit of momentum going, you get a little bit of fans, you get a little people sales, you get more and more, you
Mhm.
grow. You know, I've been doing barbecue classes, I've been doing demos with GMG, I've been doing stuff all across the world. You get a name recognition, you get on this shelf. You know, you work with this company, it kind of snowballs and gets bigger and bigger. But you have to put energy and love and time into that snowball. You know, it's not
Yeah,
going to do
yeah.
anything if you don't keep it rolling. Um, so working with GMG has been really amazing for me because they've allowed me to create the backyard pitmaster classes that I go to GMG dealers across America, and I
Yeah,
teach a
right.
backyard pitmaster class. I show people how to use the grill, you know, how
Yeah,
to use it
that's unreal.
effectively, how to use it great. And then also I get to use my product. I get to take it off the shelf, cook with it, and
Yeah,
put it in people's mouths, which is powerful. You know,
it's huge. Yeah.
a rub is a rub sitting on that wall, but once you put it in somebody's mouth after it's been on a smoked, you know, pork shoulder or a rack of ribs, and they taste it, it's different. It hits on another level, and you create fans, and you create, you know, people who want to buy your product, and you have to be genuine and real. And but at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's got to be an amazing product too. You know,
Yeah, and I think it's just there's just so many rubs there, right?
billions. I mean, you look at a
Yes.
wall; it's almost intimidating. How does
Yeah,
yours
that's
stand
it.
out? A lot of
Yeah,
that has to do with
yeah,
branding too. I mean,
yeah,
look at the
yeah. Oh,
brand. I
yeah,
mean,
love
we're
it.
trying to it's on a shelf. You know, it stands out a little bit.
Yeah,
A lot of people are busy. There's so much going on a label. You don't even know what it is. Like I don't even know what's
yeah.
going on there. So
How
you
how
know,
how did
there's a
how
lot
did the
of
name come
little.
about?
Yeah, man. Being a Navy veteran,
It's yeah,
it has a lot to being, you know, a sailor. We're pirates. We're very
yep.
piratey. We love the sea. We love to go out and do our shit. But but so when I got into barbecue, I saw all these cool logos, all these cool team names, and
Yeah,
I had the logo. I had the logo picked
yeah.
out
It's so
already. I
cool.
knew I wanted a pig skull and crossbones. The name I didn't have yet. Yes, that's
Yeah,
it.
it's
I
so
said,
good.
you know, what is more piratey and barbecue-y than a pig skull and crossbones? Nothing, right? Nothing,
Yeah, it's
absolutely
unreal.
nothing. But there is actually one thing, and it's the name, and it's the Loot N Booty BBQ.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
unreal.
had a list of like 15 names, you know, all this stuff, and then I had to fit with the nautical naval pirate thing. Loot and booty. You know what is loot and booty? It's
Mm,
it's you go out and you get treasures, you get doubloons, you get gold. That's loot and
yeah, yeah,
booty. All the stuff you plunder. What do we
yeah,
get when we're at award ceremonies? What are we going for? Trophies and big
yeah.
checks, and,
I
and,
love
and
it.
you know, the
Yeah,
money, the cash. Just give it to
yeah,
me. Give me that big check. So Loot and Booty barbecue just kind of stuck, and
yeah.
it went from there. Yeah, and now
Nah, it's
seeing it
unreal.
on shelves across the world to me is it's it's humbling, you know,
Mm.
to work this hard and like to just see it everywhere. It's really humbling.
No, that's it, and I think that any sort of, especially brand recognition internationally too, is great, and getting your product international too, like that's a task. It's a huge task for the Australian rub companies and things like that
Oh
because
yeah,
going
oh yeah,
overseas is a fair bit there. But how did you find coming over to Australia and getting your product down this way?
yeah. I'm working with somebody like Old World Spices, my distributor, my manufacturer and distributor. They work directly with Hark
Yeah,
Enterprises out there in Melbourne, and so the cool thing is they ship directly to them. They kind of leave all that shipping and logistics out of my hands and allow me to go
yeah, that's
market my
perfect, man. That's
business.
perfect.
They
Yeah,
allow
yeah,
me to go to classes, and then they handle all that, and then you know we figure out my cut on the end. But
yeah.
that to me is that's the way my business is set up to
Mm,
allow me to go out and do that branding and marketing and classes and events and competitions and allow somebody else to handle the back end. And I love them because they not only handle that, they also have a group of salespeople who meet with Hark. They meet with countries. They meet with a Home Depot. They meet with Lowe's. They meet with, you know, Bass Pro
yeah,
Shop,
right.
Shields, all these people and sell my product. They put it in front of them and say, these are the guys who are out here hustling. These are the guys who are out here, you know, making names for themselves. These are the ones that are winning on the competition circuit. They're putting in
Yeah,
these people's hands and their eyes. So to me, having that sales team and that back end for me to get on more shelves, it's perfect for the way that I run my business. You know.
yeah. No, that's unreal. And
But
you
coming to
mentioned
Australia was awesome, man. I love when Hark brought me in and got the product
yeah,
distributed everywhere, and to be able to go there and do well in competitions and teach classes and
yeah,
I hear I hear some people say I'm an honorary Aussie, and I'll accept
yeah.
it all day. I love you guys. I
Right.
love going down there. You guys are a
All right.
blast, and
Yeah.
I'll accept it all day.
No, absolutely, man. And I think you're welcome here anytime. And I think one of the questions that did come up is, will we see you in Australia anytime in 2023? Which is, I think, something hopefully we do.
Yeah, I'm kind of working right now for Meat Stock Melbourne.
Yeah,
I'm
unreal.
working. We talked about Glenn at Char,
Yep.
possibly doing a class at his new place in
Oh
Melbourne
yeah,
there.
turn left at Albuquerque.
Yeah, so we're
Yeah,
we're,
yeah.
we're working on a little something right now, and it'll probably
Hey,
be
I
like
love it.
maybe the Thursday before Meat Stock. If that sounds
Yep.
like a cool date, everybody come in, and
Yep.
then I'll stick around and do the competition that weekend, hang out with everybody, and cross my fingers and hope you guys don't beat me too bad.
No, I got to see you cooking lamb again. Now, look, I just
I
want to
can't
sort of
wait.
go
I
back.
haven't cooked lamb, and so going back. Sorry to cut you off, but
That's all right, dude.
my last time at Melbourne Meat Stock, it was 2020.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
guess what
yeah,
happened in 2020? The whole thing got
yeah,
shut down. So I didn't
yeah,
even get
man.
to cook. I was excited. I was ready to go. I taught a class at Glenn's place Thursday night.
Yeah.
Me and Dano from Big Smoke are ready. We're getting to get set up, and then shut the whole thing down. I flew home 2 days later, so I didn't even get to cook. So
Oh
I got to
man.
come back and
Yeah,
I
you
got to come
do.
back
You
and
do.
have a redemption cook, at Melbourne Meat Stock.
Yeah, and I think the hype that Meatstock 2022 had, people coming in, was unreal, and I think everyone's just super pumped for 20 because I think we were still a little bit hesitant, a little bit,
Yeah, a little leery.
it wasn't everyone wasn't too comfortable, but I think 2023 is just going to be huge. So it'd be so
Yeah,
good to have you down. Just want
masks are off. Let's go.
That's it, man. Oh yeah, 100%. Masks and beards. I haven't got a beard at the moment, but yeah, masks and beards just don't go so well.
Right.
But you sort of mentioned the El Jefe Grande rub, which I
Yeah.
don't have in front of me, but tell us about that one. That's one of the newer ones, yeah?
Yeah, I actually just worked with Hark and Old World Spices to get it going your way. But that's
Oh, excellent.
it's
Excellent.
Southwestern style rub. I living here in Arizona, and we got access
Yep.
to some of the best spices and flavors. So um, I wanted to have that awesome like carne asada type Mexican style rub. It's dried peppers. We got a lot
Yeah.
of some sea salt in there. We have that citric powder, which I love, which breaks down and adds awesome to those Latin and those Mexican flavors. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really good
yeah.
on like a carne asada. I put it in guacamole, like a Mexican style
Ooh,
street corn.
nice.
It's amazing in
Yeah, yeah.
anything that you want, that southwestern cumin, smoky cumin, dried peppers. You got the dehydrated garlic, onion, and then you have that citrus that just pairs it all together. That rub is one that I've worked. That's besides El Jefe Grande, that was the longest one that I worked on just to get right. That citric acid, you want to use sparingly and use it right. But when you taste
Yeah,
that
yeah.
rub, it's going to hit you, and you taste that citric acid, and it helps break down a lot of those meats like a skirt steak or a carne asada, where you don't have to do like a marinade where you have all this liquid, you dump it
Yeah,
down the
yeah.
bag. That stuff's just messy. Do a little dry rub on it, let the citric powder do the work, and it'll make that meat tender and juicy. So I'm really excited about the El Jefe Grande, and El Jefe
Yeah.
Grande is the big boss. So
Yeah, right.
move aside, all the other ones, the big boss is coming in.
Yeah, mate, can't wait to try that. Yeah, I'll have to tap on the Hark guys and see when that's arriving.
Get it on some carne asada, a tortilla, a little cilantro, some
Oh,
onion, a little
yeah.
crema, a little avocado crema. That's your day right there.
Yeah, man, that's unreal. Can't wait.
Come
Now,
on over. I'll cook in the backyard for you. I got the grill going.
oh, dude, I know where I'd rather be right now. Not in this garage studio that I'm shooting.
Yeah.
But let's talk barbecues. Talking about backyard there, man. What sort of barbecues you got in the yard there?
Oh man, you don't even want to see the whole other side over here. So I have in my collection 38 different grills. 38. Isn't that
Wow.
crazy?
There
I like
you
to
go.
collect older Weber kettles, the Weber kettle
Yeah,
club.
yep,
Those
yep.
are my homies, so like Dave and Evan and all those guys, Georgie and Joel. But in this corner right here, I'm looking at maybe 7 Weber kettles over here. I got 2
Nice.
performers over here. On this side, I got 3 GMGs. I have a red box smoker. I got my little Trek right here. in the garage, I have my comp smokers. I got a ledge. I got 2 gateway drums. I have one of the rips, the new rips. I have I have a storage unit in Kansas City with like 3 gateway drums, 4 GMGs. We have 7 M grills, 3 PK grills in there, and then what else? Oh, I got a storage unit here, and I got 3 more GMGs. I got 3 drums, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 5 Webers in there. So it's become a weird addiction. And I haven't bought one in a while, and I'm starting to get the shakes. I haven't bought it in a while.
that's a heck of a lot. Oh man, imagine seeing one of yours like a storage unit like that in one of those those the TV shows where people go and open up storage units. Oh
yeah, and they'll be like, that's worth nothing. It's worth $1 million to me, but all these old Weber kettles, like, I'll just throw them away. I'm like, no, that's gold. That's a red Weber from '74. And God damn it. So yeah.
And what's your go-to? Like, what do you cook often with?
The best thing is, I love this little guy. It's right on my patio. I've got 2 racks on this the Trek, and then I have a Glen Blue 26-inch Weber kettle that I love. It's one of my favorites. One of my favorite grills, and the 26er, so it's big.
Such a good color. Yeah.
I can do the offset too with it, so I can cook a rack of ribs on that thing, legit, like offset. Where I can have hot side, cold side. But that Glen Blue color it's a beautiful grill.
It's mint.
So I love that one, and my GMG is just so easy. I'm lazy sometimes. I just want to hit the button, throw the grill, let the grill do the work. Sometimes I want to light the coals and smell it. Sometimes I want to just do that. So I love having the best of both worlds there, and then having options.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Now, I haven't got you for much longer, so I just wanted, I guess, get into the best tips for cooking barbecue ribs side of things. And you've cooked Australian ribs, so you've kind of the maybe not so subtle, but the actual differences between the cuts that we get here. But what are your tips? Like, if we just start with pork, how do you go ahead and cook a rack of pork at home, or if you're competing? Versus
absolutely. You know what I've noticed in difference between some of the meat cuts in Australia and America is the beef in Australia is amazing. You guys have some phenomenal beef.
Oh,
some of those black onyx briskets. I've had some briskets from Glenn. Some of the guys up at George's that were just phenomenal briskets. The pork is America. We have big pigs. We have marbled pigs. We have fat pigs. We got money muscles that looks like that.
Oh wow!
We got big boys. So I find going in Australia sometimes finding that girth and that marbling in the pork, it's a little bit harder to find. So without having that kind of marbling and girth, you might have to cook them not as much. With more girth and fatty, you can push, and they won't get dried out. So really what you want to watch too with the piece of meat that doesn't have that much marbling is just the moisture content and just setting your color on it and then wrapping it up in, with butter and, some sweetness, some honey, apple juice, pineapple, something like that, just to kind of save the color and save the moisture as well. So it's just not evaporating in the grill. But I really love on Green Mountain Grills is on all my grills, I have two racks. So it comes with the normal grate. I love those extender racks because it kind of brings the meat up off that bottom there. It allows
the radiant heat
and the smoke to kind of get 360 degrees all around that piece of meat, as opposed to really just coming down on the top. So I love those extender racks because it allows the heat and the smoke to go everything. It also brings up the bottom of that piece of meat a little bit off the bottom, because sometimes if you're going at 300 degrees or higher, you can get some of that crustiness and burnness. But by elevating it up, you're getting it further from that heat source, and you're allowing to have more like a golden color and a more smokiness and a more flavor on that. So I really love extending it off that bottom of those extender racks they make. And then I really, I don't pay attention a lot to at this temperature or this time I do this. I pay attention.
That's what I was going to ask you that one.
How does it look? Is the bark set in? Is it nice and are you taking your finger and scraping it and all the reps coming off, or is it set in? Is it look mahogany? Does it look the way you want to look? If it does, then guess what? Let's wrap it up. And then what do? The next step, we cook it until it becomes tender, right? How long does it take? I don't know. The meat's going to tell me. Farmer's going to tell me. Every piece of meat's unique. But just know the lower temperature you're cooking at, the longer it's going to take. The higher temperature you're cooking at, the shorter time it's going to take. So I really, once I wrap these ribs up, I kind of like cooking around 275 degrees ish, maybe up to 300. It depends on the moisture out there and humidity and a bunch of other factors. But between 275 and 300, I'm going to say if you're cooking a rack of spare ribs, probably around an hour and a half to an hour 45 minutes, you're going to see that bark starting to set in and get nice.
It's
going to start looking nice. It's not going to be too crusty. That's around the time that I'm going to double wrap it in foil. If you're using Australian foil, 7 times wrap it, whatever you guys got to do.
We'll just quad wrap it.
No, we have foil here that you can fix cars with. Legit. You can make a plane out of it. But wrap it in foil. I like to double, triple wrap because it keeps everything tight. And then I like to wrap it where the meat side's up, not down. Sometimes when it's down, the meat can get stringy. It's not a good bite. It can get
that's a good tip.
So I kind of put meat side up, and I put maybe some butter, maybe a little bit of barbecue sauce, just light. I like to use pineapple juice, apple juice, something fruity, something sweet in there. Some people use a soda, like a Sprite or something like that.
Right.
Let's call it lemonade.
Yep, lemonade. Right?
Give a lemonade in there. Turbinado sugar, wrap it up tight, put it back on the grill. And then I usually like to stay under 300 degrees once it's back on the grill, because if I put a lot of sugary stuff in there, it can caramelize, turn the ribs dark and black. And I don't really want. I've already got the color I want. I don't want to change it. So at that point, we're cooking them until they're tender. And so if you're at 275 to 300 degrees, once they're wrapped, another hour, they're going to be butter. I'm assuming I take a probe, like a thermometer, put it in between the bones. And when it goes in, like butter that's been sitting out on your counter for an hour or so with very little to no resistance, it's just sliding in. If you're putting that probe in and it's giving you, if it's tough, they're not done. I always imagine while I kind of close my eyes while I'm doing it. I'll close my eyes and put that probe into the meat. And I imagine my teeth biting it. Imagine your teeth. And so if it's giving you, you're going to have a tough little bite. If it's going in super soft, I know my grandma can eat it because she doesn't have any teeth. But, I want to stop it before that point. But there's a fine balance.
You got to find
it's really about knowing that feel and that touch, and that takes a while to do. And that just comes from getting in your backyard and cooking ribs. Once it's that feel and that touch, they're ready, right? They're done. We can pull them out of the wrap. We can sauce them. We can put them back on a set if we want. We can rest them. Resting is very important. You don't want to just slice right into those ribs. You want all the moisture, the myoglobin, all that fat to relax a little bit. Because if you slice right into it, it's very active in there. It's just going to flood right out. If you want to do that, great. Go ahead and do that. I want it in the rib. But if you want it on the table, go ahead. But let it rest. And then once you slice it, it'll retain a lot more moisture, right? So it's really about stages to me. I don't know if I, at this time and at this temperature, the meat's going to tell me what it needs to do at certain times. And that comes from feeling it. That comes from touching it. That comes from being there. That comes from being involved in the cook and being a pitmaster. As much as I love the grills that we can set them and forget them, you still have to be a pitmaster. You still have to work the grill, and you still have to know when to pull or when to set or when to rest, right?
No, I agree. And look, I've got to say, I put your Gold Star chicken on some ribs the other day. Pork ribs. And then I sort of wrapped it with a bit of honey and sugar. Didn't put any butter because my mates can't eat dairy. And then a little bit of your the Southwest sweet heat sauce. I put a little bit of that on there too.
Yeah, I love that sauce.
And those ribs, I couldn't stop eating them. That flavor, awesome, that flavor combination and the chicken, real good, man. Real good.
So here's a little secret. Here's a little secret. So what I do on pork, and this came from an accident, and we won pork at the Jack Daniels, first place pork at the Jack Daniels with this. It was an accident actually. So we're seasoning pork, and took Gold Star chicken and did it all over the pork money muscles. Set the bottle down. We looked at it and we're like, oh my God, that's my Gold Star chicken rub. We put chicken all over pork. It's too late, man. Put everything rub on top of it, turn it in. first place pork, Jack Daniels. 2016. So from here on out, Gold Star chicken goes on pork. It goes on ribs. It gets my first layer on anything pork.
Yeah,
it's Gold Star chicken. That's my first layer. That's my seasonal, and then I run everything right on top of it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Dude,
it worked.
But
it
came from an accident.
Well. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I was just like, I gotta try your rubs, and there's only one I had at the time, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna pop it on and see what it did. Just turned out amazing, and that barbecue sauce is just really good too. I just glazed with the sauce, just
thank you, man.
And man, it was just flavor punch. I loved it.
I love that sweet heat sauce. To me, I love the heat
it's unreal.
Where it'll hit you, but when you cook it, when you put it on meat and proteins, it balances that out a little bit. So you still get the heat, but it's not like a kick you in the throat heat.
No,
it's I want to eat more of this heat.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. That was I don't know.
That's my secret. Don't tell anybody.
No, it's all right. This is I'll cut that out of the video. That's fine. Look, thanks so much for the tip. What's next, Smitty? What's next for the team? What's next for you? Is there any other rubs coming? Any sauces?
Yeah,
man. Hoping to come to Melbourne. It's unreal.
So, I got a kind of a light December, so I'm actually have some time to meet with Old World Spices, and we're gonna actually do some sauce. I'm doing some sauce development with them. So I have a co-packer here in Phoenix, actually, and I'm looking at working with Old World to get everything transferred over to them. So I'll be meeting with them in their engineering and R&D department to kind of work on getting my sauces over with Old World for national and worldwide distribution. So that's kind of in my December. Then January kicks off the year. I kick it off with a competition here in Arizona, Slaborama. Cool. We got 3 in a row: January, February, March. 3 here in Arizona. I'll be back in Melbourne Meat Stock. I had the World Finals for World Food Championships. That's $100,000 check right there. So that's gonna be amazing. I can't wait. Yeah. So we'll know about the finals in January. They'll send us, the location, what we're cooking, the details for that. So I don't know anything right at this moment, but I'm excited for it. I also have several conferences. We got working with GMG doing Denver barbecue festivals, and I host the stage for that. I got several classes I'm working on right now, and it's all coming to my first quarter is going to be pretty busy, with all that coming up. So I'm going to really enjoy December, take some time off with my family.
Yeah, do it. Absolutely.
Maybe hit a beach somewhere, for Christmas with fam. But relax for a little bit, then hit 2023 coming in hard like a shotgun, baby.
Unreal. Now, where can people find you on the online, on the socials?
Loot N Booty BBQ.com is the website, but I do have they're in Australia. Hark is my distributor. Also Boss Hog and the Duchess of Pork. They're out of Melbourne. They do some online distribution for me. There is a lot of local butcher shops, mom and pop places that carry my product there. On socials, you can find me at Loot N Booty BBQ on Instagram and Loot N Booty BBQ on Facebook. It's really the two I focus on. I'm kind of old, so all the the TikTok and stuff like that. I'm trying to work with my kids to figure that.
Man, you got a pool there. That's perfect. TikTok.
Throw a brisket in it and waste $200 and squeeze it and all the fat out into the pool. That's not water. It's brisket juice. Man, I got so many ideas. Don't take that one. So
no, that's I've got to get a pool first, but
I'm gonna work with my kids and figure out this TikTok thing.
Do it. It's a whole new world. Now, Smitty, so good to have a chat to you, mate. Thanks for coming on and being the first Pitmaster in the Pitmaster Q&A series. Appreciate your time, and have a great December and a Merry Christmas, and hopefully we'll see you. Definitely see you next Meat Stock in Melbourne here. Can't wait to see you in action.
I'm excited.
Hopefully, get that lamb action going. It'd be good.
Come over and try some. But hey, man, I really appreciate you having me on. I love you guys down in Australia. I can't wait to come back. It's one of my favorite places to visit. I love all the smiling faces. I love all the love, and I just love doing what I do, man, and seeing you guys. So again, thank you, buddy.
No worries, mate. Take care. We'll talk soon.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah. All right, everyone, that was Sterling Smith from Loot N Booty BBQ, kicking off the first Pitmaster Q&A series brought to you by Green Mountain Grills Australia and Hark Barbecue. You can find Loot N Booty products at Hark and like he said, a whole bunch of shops and stuff around in Australia as well. They are carried around. Now, make sure you join us on the 8th of December when the legendary Chris Marks from Three Little Pigs joins us for a Pitmaster Q&A right here on the Hark and GMG Australia Facebook pages. Come and have a chat to him. Until next time, look after yourselves and keep those barbecues smoking.